are you and what is your job at Parallel?
I'm Diana Heldfun. I'm CEO and founder here at Parallel Learning.
I'm Dr. Jordan Wright. I am the Chief Clinical Officer at Parallel.
Hi, I'm Alex Goldberg, and I work on the customer relationships team as a business development representative in the Northeast.
I'm Amanda. I am a finance associate here.
My name is Kushal Patel. I'm the VP of Finance at Parallel.
My name is Demi Pappas, and I am the School Partnership Director for the Northeast.
My name is Anne-Sophie, and I am the Chief of Staff to our CEO, Diana.
So I started Parallel because I was diagnosed with learning and thinking differences myself. I was diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD when I was 7 years old, so lived firsthand through a number of the services we now provide here at Parallel. I was very lucky in that I reaped the benefits of early detection and early intervention for my conditions, and so really saw kind of the greatest version of a success story, and that I had so much extra support to really help me navigate those challenges. And I was extremely motivated to rethink kind of how we could deliver care to 20% of students who struggle with learning and thinking differences more broadly, and felt that ultimately there was so much room for improvement in the way that we ultimately are supporting students. So my background is a little bit more on the business, finance side of things. Spent a number of years working on Wall Street before starting Parallel, but ultimately this is a mission so near and dear to my heart because, again, I've lived firsthand as a student in the classroom receiving these services.
How is Parallel meeting the needs of schools and students it works with?
Special education as a space is strapped. There are too few special education instructors, speech therapists. There are too few professionals to meet the needs of kids. Parallel offers a virtual solution for these schools that is flexible, that is meeting the needs of those kids who don't have easy access to those special education services.
A lot of the special ed teachers and other providers who are working in the system are overburdened with a lot of caseload, and so we are here to help implement our providers, help them decrease all of the burden in their system.
How do you ensure that partnerships with school districts go well?
I think a big thing, so I'm a former special educator myself, and a big part of this is you need to be able to listen. And when I work with school districts and connect with them, my number one priority is to really hear them and listen to what their needs are. And then I try and kind of talk with them and learn about that more and develop that relationship organically and build off of that.
How does Parallel ensure the providers you guys hire are the best?
So here at Parallel, we're very lucky to have a clinical team led by Dr. Jordan Wright. And we have, since day one, really invested in building out our clinical program to ensure that we're bringing in the top of the top.
The providers we hire at Parallel, we make sure first and foremost they are fully credentialed, licensed to be doing the work that they're doing. But more importantly, we work hard to make sure that they are a culture fit with Parallel. We make sure that they believe that every kid can grow, develop, learn, and thrive in school. We offer them as well what I call a clinical machine. Of supports, of continuing education, of office hours to make sure they have every single tool they need to make every kid thrive.
And then once they actually are accepted into the Parallel network, we work very hands-on with them to get them through their first couple of cases and then ongoing to ensure that they have the best professional development as they continue with their caseload here at Parallel.
Parallel is amazing for the students, no one can deny that. But are there any ways that the school directly benefits?
Schools benefit from working with Parallel in multiple ways. Not only do they have on-demand services for the kids that they need, it helps them with their caseloads, it helps them with compliance, but also we provide a lot of feedback to schools. We make sure that schools understand what progress their kids are making as we're working with them.
Many cases, students are not getting any services because they actually have such a wide gap in their staff. And so in that sense, we're really coming in and helping partner with the districts to ensure that the students are getting served, that they're being seen on time, and that they're actually seeing real results from those services, that we're providing services that are actually driving students closer towards their goals and ultimately helping them succeed in life.
What is the benefit of having an online speech-language pathologist for students?
Online speech therapy offers some advantages. First and foremost, it is more flexible and can be a bit on demand for students when they need it. Also, it allows our speech therapists to close in on students' faces and their mouths as they're talking. So you get to focus entirely on what is happening in a kid's mouth, with their lips, with their tongue, in a way that's much harder to do in person. Students get to know their speech therapist online and get to meet with them in a consistent way with Parallel so that they can grow and be monitored for what they're gaining in the speech therapy. Virtual comprehensive psychoeducational assessments, or what we call teleassessment, is offered at Parallel. We work in alignment with the research, much of which I've done, on what is valid, what is ethical and valid to conduct at a distance. We can do virtually everything that we can do in person via remote methodologies. Comprehensive psychoeducational assessments are extremely important to identify kids who have needs that are not yet being met in the classroom. We need to identify exactly what's going on for these kids so that we can target interventions and target accommodations for them. The kids who work with our Parallel therapists report really enjoying it, really gaining the skills. We work with kids who are anxious and we give them skills to lower their anxiety. We work with kids who have disruptive behavior disorders, and they can calm themselves down. We see growth in them in their behavioral, social, and emotional functioning.
What is executive function coaching? How do students benefit from this?
Executive functioning is becoming more and more paramount in the way we think about kids learning. So it is their control over themselves, their self-regulation skills, including their attention, their impulse control, their ability to solve problems. And executive function coaching targets this very specifically to give them the skills they need to solve multi-step problems and to navigate their way through school more effectively. Students who go through executive function coaching are extremely independent and much better organized. They find ways to plan out the work that they need to do to succeed in school.
So here at Parallel, all of our services take place on our proprietary platform, which is built very much both with the provider in mind as well as the student and the school district that we're working with. So there are a number of features geared at all of the above, namely a lot geared towards the provider in terms of really making them as efficient and as effective as possible in delivering services, but also on the school district side, we've built the platform really to help them manage their special ed department. So all of the students who are working with Parallel providers are ultimately kind of housed, if you will, on the Parallel platform. All of their data and documentation is very easily accessible to the district. All of their progress being made with the providers is also readily available to them, and we're constantly thinking about how we can add more features for the school district to help them better manage their actual caseload of students. A really good example of some of the more innovative work we're doing here at Parallel is actually in Michigan. We're working with a group of incarcerated youth. We are ultimately able to bring these really vital resources to that population that is hard to reach and also very high needs. And so it's been really great to see the team come up with kind of more innovative solutions of how we can work with that population and ultimately set those up for the most success.
You know, every single department at Parallel focuses on like the provider and the student experience first. And so whether you're talking to the finance team, the sales team, or the clinical ops team, our mission and our priorities are all the same.
Great. And what are you most proud of in your work with Parallel?
I think the most proud of I am is the colleagues that I work with, because everyone here is single-mindedly focused on building a platform that is going to address a very real need of our society and making an immediate impact from what we do.
Most of us have been in the classroom or have worked with students personally, so we're all mission driven.
Being around a bunch of people who are genuinely committed to trying to make a difference in special education and provide support, particularly for places that really need it. You know, I think with the staffing crisis being the way that it is, there's a lot of districts that are being left out in the cold, and it makes me really happy to be part of a team that cares a lot about trying to support every district, not just the biggest districts or the districts that are, you know, able to pull in the most staff, but the ones that have been struggling.
I was looking for a company that I believed in the model, but also had an incredible mission. And my favorite part has been working with people who believe that we can give great support and services to the kids, but also do it better, because that's what they deserve. And so I think being part of that culture and environment has been one of the best things so far.
I'm extremely spoiled and grateful to be working at Parallel. I get to work not only with our providers and helping them do the best work possible, but I also get to work with engineers and think about how to make our work not only easier and more efficient, but also deeper and more effective for our kids.
It's been really exciting to see us all come together and it all culminate in everything that Parallel is today. Really lucky our clinical team is led by Dr. Jordan Wright, who is really the forefront researcher in all things teletherapy. He really shot up to fame during the COVID pandemic, where he became really the forefront voice in how to conduct yourself as a clinical provider doing teletherapy. And around him, we've built this really robust clinical team of amazing leaders in all different domains, from school psychology to speech and language therapy to special education and beyond, which really ensures that all of the services that we are delivering come with the best possible clinical oversight, that all of the providers who are joining our network have this amazing resource in our clinical team to ensure that they have the best possible support. And on the other side, we also have an incredible customer success team and school partnerships team who is really working with every district that we ultimately engage with to ensure that they have the best possible experience, that the students that we are engaging with are having the best experience, and to really get them up and running with that provider, that the provider is learning the norms of the district so that we can ultimately be the best possible partner to the districts that we're working with.